All right, let's get it. We got a new video reacting to Pooh Shiesty and his dad brutally attacked in jail. I'm not sure if this is true. I'm pretty sure it's probably a capped video. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna pretty much watch it, give our intake by the end of the video, see if it's true or false. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, though, we ain't gonna get too much, you know what I'm saying, intake on, what this video is until we actually get into it. Other than that though, y'all like and subscribe, turn on post notice, you know what I'm saying? Stick around. We have pretty much watched the past Pooh Shiesty video too, but he didn't explain too much. Hopefully this one have more detail. Seems like they do, you know what I'm saying? But it could be clickbait as well, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not gonna clickbait y'all, I'm just here to see if it's true or false, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, we're gonna chill, get into this video, and y'all stick around. Like I said, turn on post notice for more content like this.
Surfaced of Pooh Shiesty in prison alongside his father, and the situation inside is escalating fast. Reports claim he was violently attacked by inmates allegedly affiliated with Gucci Mane, sending shockwaves through the internet. In this video, we break down everything that happened, how
Like
it
I said, this
unfolded
could
behind
be
bars,
capped, so that
and
we
what
here
it
to
could
let
mean
y'all
moving
know, you
forward.
know what I'm saying?
On the morning of April 1st, 2026, residents of a quiet neighborhood in Cordova, Tennessee, saw something they probably never expected to see on their block. Federal agents were seen early Wednesday morning in and around a property in Cordova, TN, with local news outlet Fox 13 Memphis later reporting that the FBI was executing. A federal court authorized search and arrest warrant at the dwelling. FBI agents walked out with several computer monitors and brown paper bags. After spending hours inside, investigators also searched several cars parked inside the garage at the house. The home they raided belongs to a man named Lontrell Donnell Williams. It is unclear who exactly owns the raided home, which records show is registered under the name Lontrell Donnell Williams, a moniker that both the rapper and his father share. Property records indicate that the 4-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom dwelling was purchased in April 2023 for $656,500, having previously been listed for $719,000. Now, the man they were looking for was not at that house. Pooh Shiesty was arrested in Dallas, Texas.
Pooh
Law enforcement
Shiesty.
sources tell TMZ the rapper,
Bro, why do they
real
say his name
Lontrell
like
D.
that, gang?
Williams Jr.,
We was just
arrested
watching the last.
Wednesday
This got to be the
and
same
booked in
dude from the
connection
last
to a
video.
federal criminal case.
Gotta
Pooh
be.
Shiesty was arrested from
Pooh
his halfway
Shiesty.
house in Dallas, Texas, while his dad
He
was picked up
trolling.
in Memphis. That's right, both father and son were arrested on the same day. Pooh Shiesty was arrested just 6 months after he was released from a Pennsylvania prison. 6 months. That's all the freedom he got. He rejoined the outside world on October 7th, 2025. His initial release date would have been next week, April 11th. He came home early, and now he's back behind
Crazy as
bars,
hell,
with
huh?
his father right beside him.
That
At
shit
first,
crazy as
nobody knew
hell,
why.
gang.
Officials had not yet revealed the charges against either man, but a press conference was scheduled, and when those
Not even a
details came
full
out,
6
the
months,
story
gang.
went from bad to unthinkable. Federal authorities announced during a press conference Thursday that Shiesty had been arrested along with 8 other men.
Bro, he
who
about to
stand
blow
accused of
me saying his
kidnapping and
name
robbing
like this,
3
gang.
music industry
Talking about
figures at
Shiesty.
gunpoint inside a recording studio in
Who's
Dallas
Shiesty?
earlier this year. One of those music industry figures was
Let me
Gucci
read.
Mane,
Hold on.
the man who signed Pooh Shiesty, the man who made him famous, the man who welcomed him home from prison just months ago. Williams was released from prison last October after serving 3 years of a 63-month sentence on gun charges. Gucci Mane celebrated his release
Alright,
posting.
there we go. Yeah, I have to
Welcome home,
reopen that
Pooh
because
Shiesty,
this
the
had
main
my
sign
mic
is back.
delayed or something.
From welcome home to kidnapping charges in 3 months. That's the timeline here.
Alright, we
To
should be straight now.
understand
Let's
why
get it.
Pooh Shiesty allegedly did what he did,
Pooh
you
Shiesty.
have to understand the relationship between him and Gucci Mane, and you have to understand the contract. Gucci Mane, whose real name is Radrick Delantic Davis, is one of the most important figures in Southern hip-hop. Gucci Mane is widely regarded as one of the pioneers of trap music, alongside fellow Atlanta rappers T.I. and Jeezy. He emerged in the mid-2000s with his breakout single Icy, and went on to build a vast catalog through a steady stream of mixtapes and albums. Beyond his music career, Gucci built something that many rappers aspired to build, a record label that functioned as a launching pad for new talent. That label was 1017 Records. In 2020, Shiesty, notably, joined the roster of
Shiesty.
Gucci's
Bro is
1017
struggling to
label.
say his name
This was
right.
the move that changed everything for a young Memphis rapper
Shiesty.
named Lontrell Williams Jr.
Shiesty.
The signing gave Pooh Shiesty major label distribution,
Hell no,
industry
this
connections,
dude funny.
and the credibility that comes with being co-signed by a legend.
I do need to turn,
Shiesty
yeah.
began
I see
getting
that
his
is
fame
kind
after
of
his
loud.
viral hit Back in Blood that was released in November
Pooh
2021
Shiesty.
with Chicago rapper Lil Durk and signed to Gucci's
His
Book
ass
10
got it.
2017 label before his run-ins with the law. But as is often the case in the music business, the honeymoon doesn't always last. In a criminal complaint filed in Dallas federal court, prosecutors allege Shiesty was upset with the terms of his recording
Shiesty.
contract.
Bro
and
didn't
set up a
scale
meeting with
like
Maine to
5
discuss
different
the matter.
names,
That
gang.
frustration with
And
the
didn't say
contract.
it correct,
You're
not
one sentence away
once.
from launching your website with Base 44. Since the beginning of the internet, there's never been such a
Bro
fun,
is
fast, and
struggling to say his
intelligent way
name
to launch
correct.
Is the cornerstone of everything that allegedly followed. In October 2024, something significant happened. Gucci Mane announced on X he would be releasing all of the artists signed
Hey,
to
go
his label,
outside.
except for Shiesty and one other artist. So while other artists were being let go, Pooh Shiesty was the one Gucci Mane held on to. On one hand, that's a sign of belief in Shiesty's talent and value. On the other hand, if Shiesty wanted out and was being told no, that becomes a cage rather than a cosign. TMZ's Michael Babcock tells Fox 4 that it would have been a financial blow to let Pooh Shiesty go from Gucci Mane's record label. And that's the crux of the tension. Gucci Mane had financial reasons to keep Shiesty on the roster, and Shiesty allegedly had deeply personal reasons to leave. The question was never whether the dispute was real. It was always about how that dispute would be resolved. Williams was upset with the terms of his contract and wanted to be released. The complaint said, according to prosecutors, instead of handling the dispute through attorneys and negotiations, Pooh Shiesty chose violence. The Department of Justice laid out a meticulous, chilling account of what allegedly happened on January 10th, 2026, just 3 months after Pooh Shiesty walked out of prison. Lontrell Williams Jr. allegedly asked to meet with Maine in Dallas on Jan 10 to discuss his contract with Maine's label 1017, according to the criminal complaint filed Monday in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas. The meeting was pitched as a standard business sit-down, according to Ray Bold on Jan 10. Gucci Mane and 2 others traveled to a business meeting at the studio arranged by Shiesty. He said that all 9 defendants had traveled from Memphis to Dallas to kidnap and rob victims who thought they were coming into town for a business meeting. Think about the scale of what prosecutors are alleging here. 9 people traveled from Memphis to Dallas with a coordinated plan. This was not depicted as something spontaneous that happened during a heated argument. According to the DOJ, this was premeditated from the very beginning. Federal agents say the attack was planned in advance. Pooh Shiesty's father allegedly helped arrange the meeting and visited a Staples store hours earlier, where investigators believe the contract release paperwork was prepared. His father, Lontrell Williams Sr., didn't just come along for the ride. Pooh Shiesty's father rented the vehicle which was used by the kidnapping group. Raybould said that cell phone records and license plate reader data corroborated the coordinated travel of multiple defendants from Memphis to Dallas. So the defendants allegedly piled into vehicles, drove or bussed from Memphis to Dallas, checked into a hotel, and then converged on the music studio on Dallas Parkway, where Gucci Mane and 2 other music industry professionals were waiting for what they believed was a legitimate business meeting. The 9 defendants named in the complaint tell a story by themselves. The list includes Lontrell Williams Jr., Pooh Shiesty, Lontrell Williams Sr., Rodney Wright Jr., Big 30, Kadarius Waters, Demarion Gibson, DeMarcus Glover, Corday Johnson, Darian McDaniel, and Terrence Rogers, father and son, 2 rappers, 6 associates, all allegedly converging on one studio with one purpose. Though Pooh Shiesty and Big 30 are childhood friends, both being from Memphis, Tennessee,
they slimy as
Big
hell for
30
this.
is signed to Moneybagg Yo's Bread Gang label.
They slimy
Big
as
30
hell.
had no contractual ties to Gucci Mane whatsoever. His alleged involvement wasn't about a contract dispute. According to prosecutors, he was allegedly there as muscle, as support, as part of the crew. And all of this was happening while Pooh Shiesty had been released to home detention and was barred from possessing a firearm at the time of the alleged January kidnapping and
I need to
robbery.
learn how to say
He was
bro
still on
name,
federal
bro. Pooh
supervision.
Shiesty. Who
He was
she
still
is the
wearing an ankle monitor, and according to prosecutors,
bro?
he
Saying
allegedly
game.
left
You're not
his
saying
halfway
his
house
name
in
right at
Dallas and
all.
went to this studio anyway. What prosecutors describe as happening inside that studio is genuinely harrowing, and it reads like something out of a film, not a music industry meeting. Shiesty arrived at the studio with 8 other people, including his father, Lontrell Williams Sr., and rapper Big 30. Once inside the studio's control room, where the victims were watching a football game, Shiesty pulled Davis into a separate recording room with Williams Sr. and Big 30 and presented contract release paperwork. So picture this, Gucci Mane and 2 associates are in a studio control room. They're watching a game. They're relaxed. They think they're about to have a conversation about a recording contract. And then Pooh Shiesty separates Gucci Mane from the other 2 and takes him into a side room with his own father and Big 30. Pooh Shiesty produced contract termination paperwork and told the label owner to sign. They argued and Pooh Shiesty pulled what appeared to be an AK-style pistol and forced him to sign. The federal criminal complaint describes the weapon specifically, an AK-style pistol pulled from a bag and pointed directly at Gucci Mane. Williams Sr. told his son the paperwork needed a date, so Shiesty forced Davis to add 1 next to his signature, while Big 30 recorded the signing on his phone. The father, in the room, allegedly noticed a technicality. The paperwork needed a date, and Big 30 allegedly filmed the whole thing. Think about the audacity prosecutors are describing here. Not just the use of force, but the apparent belief that this paperwork, signed under duress at the barrel of a weapon, would somehow hold up. After Davis signed, Shiesty took his wedding ring, watch, earrings, and cash. Gucci Mane's wedding ring was taken off his finger. Not just music industry assets, personal belongings, intimate possessions. And then the violence allegedly spilled out of the recording room into the control room. Back in the control room, the remaining co-defendants pulled out handguns and AK-style pistols and robbed the other 2 victims. One victim was choked from behind to the point of nearly losing consciousness. One victim was shoved onto a couch and had his wallet and jewelry taken. Another was choked nearly to the point of unconsciousness and stripped of a Rolex watch.
If it is invalid, we promise a 10-fold refund. This denture can be successfully worn in just 1 second.
A Louis Vuitton bag and other valuables. Big 30 barricaded the door to prevent the victims from escaping. The exits were blocked. There was no way out. And perhaps the most haunting detail in the entire complaint. The victims believed they were going to be executed. That's not prosecutors editorializing. That's what the victims reported to federal investigators. That they genuinely feared for their lives in that moment. At one point, victims believed they were about to be executed before being ordered out of the building. They were eventually allowed to leave, but not before the defendants allegedly stripped them of their valuables, their dignity, and any sense of safety. The DOJ's case doesn't rest solely on victim testimony. What makes this situation particularly devastating for the defendants is the sheer volume of digital and physical evidence prosecutors say they have. Electronic monitoring data placed Williams Jr. at the studio, which would put him in violation of his home detention conditions. The U.S. attorney explained, Pooh Shiesty was wearing an ankle monitor at the time. His own electronic monitoring device allegedly places him at the exact location of the alleged crime, at the exact time it allegedly occurred. That alone is a catastrophic piece of evidence for someone who was supposed to be on home detention. Cell phone records and license plate readers show multiple defendants traveling from Memphis to Dallas together.
He
Records
cooked either way it
Pooh
go.
Shiesty's father renting a car the group used. Surveillance footage showing activity at the offense site.
Renting the car he
traveling from Memphis to
that's
Dallas
nasty
together.
work.
Records show Pooh Shiesty's father renting a car the group used. Surveillance footage showing activity at the offense site, a nearby office supply store, and a hotel where several defendants stayed afterward. And then there's the social media. This is the detail that turned the entire internet sideways. Within hours of leaving the Dallas studio,
all 7 of them went to the same hotel too?
And then there's the social media. This is the detail that turned the entire internet sideways. Within hours of leaving the Dallas studio, a number of the defendants were on social media, displaying some of the items that appeared to be the jewelry that had been robbed from the victims, said Raybold. They allegedly robbed people of Rolex watches, jewelry, and cash, and then posted photos of themselves wearing those exact items on social media within hours. Screenshots from DeMarcus Glover's social media account depicting him wearing purportedly stolen jewelry. were presented by the DOJ. U.S. Attorney Raybould said surveillance footage was taken from the studio, a nearby office supply store, and a hotel where several of the defendants stayed, and fingerprint evidence was recovered from the crime scene after the incident, matching at least 2 of the defendants. Fingerprints, surveillance, cell phone data, ankle monitor data, license plate readers, social media posts, rental car records. The amount of evidence prosecutors described at that press conference was staggering. 8 of the 9 suspects, including Shiesty, were arrested Wednesday across 3 cities: Memphis, Nashville, and Dallas, according to the DOJ. The 9th suspect, Terrence Rogers, has not been arrested at this time. The U.S. attorney said at the press conference that Rogers would be in custody soon. The charges are severe. The 9 defendants, including Williams Jr., his father Lontrell Williams Sr., and rapper Big 30, face charges of kidnapping and conspiracy to commit kidnapping. If convicted, each defendant faces a sentence of up to life imprisonment. Life.
I ain't gonna lie, I think he
Not
cooked
5
after
years,
this one.
Not 10.
He said life?
For context.
Wait.
This is Pooh Shiesty's second major encounter with the federal justice system.
Well, they don't know yet,
After
but he
was
just,
arrested
that's
for the
probably
second
his.
shooting. Williams was indicted on federal
mean,
charges, including conspiracy to possess firearms in furtherance of violent crime, Hobbs Act robbery, conspiracy, and discharging a firearm in furtherance of a crime of violence. The 26-year-old artist originally faced up to 8 years in prison, but he was sentenced to 5 years and 3 months back in 2022. He's 26 years old, and he's now facing the possibility of life in prison. Meanwhile, in the hours after the arrests, Pooh Shiesty went live on social media and made statements about Gucci Mane. According to posts circulated on X, Pooh Shiesty went live exposing Gucci Mane.
And then he says Pooh Shiesty, like, bro, he's not saying it right neither.
The social media reaction was swift and overwhelming. Fans flooded his Instagram account with free him comments, questions, and criticism. Pooh Shiesty's last Instagram post before his arrest.
That's actually the only time he said it right.
Pooh Shiesty's last Instagram post
Pooh
before his arrest
Shiesty's.
was a video of
That's the only time he said it
He
right.
shared it on March 11th. Since his release from
about to
prison
piss
in
me out the
October,
whole video.
Shiesty had been living what appeared to be an extravagant lifestyle.
Shiesty, you said he's
Since
saying
his
it right
release
now.
from
Somebody
prison,
must have corrected him.
Shiesty has been promoting his new music on
never
social
mind.
media, while also sharing images and video of himself posing with large stacks of cash. The Back in Blood rapper shared a video of himself purchasing a new luxury car at a dealership in Collierville, TN. The clip reveals Shiesty's new Mercedes, as well as a congratulatory message from the dealership team. He released his first day out track, FDO, which was later ranked by Complex as one of the 20 best entries in the long-running First Day Out tradition, and ultimately emerged as 2026's
So looking at this video that I'm reacting to,
momentum,
look like the video is capped
goodwill,
because he's
all
not
of that
saying
second
nothing that
chance,
happened
gone,
in jail. It don't look
obliterated
like
by
they
what
got no
prosecutors
type of
describe as a
information on them
carefully
in jail.
violently executed armed
He's talking
kidnapping
about a
and
bunch
robbery
of
the
shit
very
that we
man who
already
built
know
the
about pretty
platform
much.
Pooh Shiesty rapped on. The U.S. attorney put it in terms that leave no room for interpretation. The victims in this case came to Dallas to conduct legitimate business, and they were met with firearms and violence. Raybould said, "For anyone contemplating using violence and intimidation as a business practice, I'm here to tell you that it will be vigorously investigated and prosecuted." And as for the question in the title, Pooh Shiesty and his dad being brutally attacked, the reality is inverted. They weren't attacked. Shiesty is accused by prosecutors of acting as the ringleader in the crime. Shiesty's father, meanwhile, is accused of having aided in the planning and carrying out of the alleged crime. The brutal attack that took place in that Dallas studio, according to every piece of evidence the DOJ has presented, was allegedly carried out by Pooh Shiesty and his father, not against them. Gucci Mane was the one who had a gun pointed at his face. Gucci Mane was the one who had his wedding ring taken off his hand. The other
Gucci
victims were the
Mane.
ones- Gucci Mane was the
Gucci
one against
Mane.
them. Gucci Mane
about
was
to
the
blow
one
me.
who had a gun pointed at his face.
Gucci Mane.
Mane was the one who had his wedding
Gucci
ring taken
Mane.
off his hand. The other victims were the ones choked to near unconsciousness and pinned in a room with no exit. The title tells one story. The facts tell another. And if prosecutors are right, the consequences for Pooh Shiesty and his family will be devastating and permanent. All defendants face up to life in federal prison if convicted.
But
This is a laser.
nothing
And a
happened to
blade
them in
finish.
jail, so
And
therefore the
impossible.
video is capped. You know what I'm saying? Y'all stick around for the next one. Other than that, like, subscribe, turn on post notices. I'll see y'all in the next one.